The houses were left vacant on the land, and the land was vacant because of this. Only the tractor sheds of corrugated iron, silver and gleaming, were alive. And they were alive with metal and gasoline and oil, the discs of the plows shining. The tractor had lights shining, for there is no day and night for a tractor, and the discs turn the earth in the darkness, and they glitter in the daylight. And when a horse stops work and goes into the barn, there is a life and a vitality left. There is a breathing and a warmth, and the feet shift on the straw, and the jaws champ on the hay, and the ears and the eyes are alive. There is a warmth of life in the barn, and the heat and smell of life. But when the motor of a tractor stops, it is as dead as the ore it came from. The heat goes out of it like the living heat that leaves a corpse. Then the corrugated iron doors are closed, and the tractor man drives home to town, perhaps 20 miles away. And he need not come back for weeks or months, for the tractor is dead. And this is easy and efficient. So easy that the wonder goes out of work. So efficient that the wonder goes out of the land and the working of it, and with the wonder the deep understanding and the relation. And in the tractor man there grows the contempt that comes only to a stranger who has little understanding and no relation. For nitrates are not the land, nor phosphates, and the length of fiber in the cotton is not the land. Carbon is not a man, nor salt, nor water, nor calcium. He is all these, but he is much more, much more. And the land is so much more than its analysis. That man who is more than his chemistry, walking on the earth, turning his plow point for a stone, dropping his handles to slide over an outcropping, kneeling in the earth to eat his lunch. That man who is more than his elements knows the land that is more than its analysis. But the machine man, driving a dead tractor on land he does not know and love, understands only chemistry, and he is contemptuous of the land and of himself. When the corrugated iron doors are shut, he goes home, and his home is not the land. The doors of the empty houses swung open and drifted back and forth in the wind. Bands of little boys came out from the towns to break the windows and pick over the debris, looking for treasures. And here's a knife with half the blade gone. That's a good thing. And smells like a rat died here. And look what Whitey wrote on the wall. He wrote that in the toilet in school, too, and teacher made him wash it off. When the folks first left, and the evening of the first day came, the hunting cats slouched in from the fields and mewed on the porch. And when no one came out, the cats crept through the open doors and walked, mewing through the empty rooms. And then they went back to the fields and were wild cats from then on, hunting gophers and field mice and sleeping in ditches in the daytime. When the night came, the bats, which had stopped at the door for fear of light, swooped into the houses and sailed about through the empty rooms. And in a little while they stayed in dark room corners during the day, folded their wings high and hung head down among the rafters. And the smell of their droppings was in the empty houses. And the mice moved in and stored weed seeds in corners, in boxes, in the backs of drawers in the kitchen. And weasels came in to hunt the mice. The brown owls flew shrieking in and out again. Now there came a little shower. The weeds sprang up in front of the doorstep, where they had not been allowed, and grass grew up through the porch boards. The houses were vacant, and a vacant house falls quickly apart. Splits starting up the sheathing from the rusted nails. A dust settled on the floors, and only mouse and weasel and cat tracks disturbed it. On a night the wind loosened a shingle and flipped it to the ground. The next wind pried into the hole where the shingle had been, lifted off 3. The next, a dozen. The midday sun burned through the hole and through a glaring spot on the floor. The wildcats crept in from the fields at night, but they did not mew at the doorstep anymore. They moved like shadows of a cloud across the moon, into the rooms to hunt the mice. And on windy nights the doors banged, and the ragged curtains fluttered in the broken windows.